Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to sift through the research and get you up to speed fast. Today, we're looking at a product you might have seen flooding social media, the Pillow Haven Premium Pain Relief Pillow. It really promises the world, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
an instant fix for neck pain, guaranteed pain-free sleep.
Right. And our mission today is to take a close look at the source material that investigated this pillow. We're basically dissecting those really aggressive marketing claims you see everywhere. You know, the supposed media features, awards that pop up out of nowhere, those unbelievable statistics. We want to figure out if this is legit help or just, well, cleverly manufactured hype.
Okay, let's start there with those claims of like instant fame. The
Mhm.
company says it's been featured on huge platforms, NBC, Forbes, USA Today, big names. And they slap this badge on their site, Pillow of the Year 2025.
Yeah, and what's really telling is how those two things work together. Claiming features on major news sites, that's a massive trust signal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But our sources couldn't find a single link, no embedded articles, absolutely zero proof anywhere on their website to back that up. They're using the idea of being featured without any actual evidence.
Just leveraging the name recognition.
Exactly. And that kind of lack of transparency, it carries right over to that Pillow of the Year 2025 title. And it sounds impressive, sure. But if you actually won a big award like that, wouldn't you, link to the organization that gave it to you, show it off?
You'd think so.
But nope. No name for the awarding body, no website, no proof it even exists. It's just a fancy title kind of floating out there, designed purely to make you trust them without asking questions.
Okay, so empty endorsements, maybe a made-up award. Where does it go from there?
Well, if we connect that strategy to the numbers they're citing, it moves from just being vague to potentially fabricated validation. They claim things like 95% of users saw neck pain relief.
95%! That's
Yeah.
astronomical.
It is. And 92% apparently felt more youthful, whatever that means in this context.
Right, but what did the source material find about how they got those numbers? Like, who did they test? Was there a study published somewhere?
Absolutely zero details, nothing. These are huge, very specific numbers thrown out like objective facts. But there's no study mentioned, no data you can look at, no context for how the tests were done, or even who did them. The numbers seem designed just to shut down any skepticism you might have.
Okay, this is where the analysis gets really actionable for you, the listener, because the biggest red flag our sources found involves the supposed doctor-recommended endorsements. They've got pictures, quotes from doctors, all meant to build confidence.
Yeah, and this is just a textbook example of borrowing credibility or maybe stealing it. The source material actually confirmed those doctor photos in quotes, not real endorsements.
Seriously, how did they confirm that?
It was pretty straightforward, actually. Using a reverse image search like Google Lens, something anyone can use, they found the images were just generic stock photos, the kind you buy online. Or sometimes just random pictures pulled from other places on the web.
Wait, hold on. Why risk using fake doctor photos? Wouldn't it be easier and frankly safer to just find one real chiropractor or doctor to give a genuine quote rather than using stock images and risking getting caught?
That's a great question. It suggests they prioritize speed, getting that visual credibility up fast, maybe assuming nobody would actually check, just slap a face next to a quote. And that focus on speed kind of informs the next really weird finding. The timeline of their user reviews.
What about the timeline?
The website shows all these glowing 5-star reviews, but they're dated in 2024.
Okay, and
the company's website domain, it was only registered in February 2025.
so the reviews existed before the website did. How does that even work? That's a huge credibility issue.
Exactly. It's literally impossible. Now, look, we should be balanced here. The source material did point out the pillow has a 4.1-star rating on Trustpilot, which isn't terrible, so it might not be completely useless for everyone.
Right. Some people might find it okay.
Possibly. However, the source also noted that a lot of those positive Trustpilot reviews seem suspiciously similar, very polished, almost robotic language, and that really contrasts with what seemed like more genuine customer complaints. People mentioning real-world problems, deliveries taking forever, hassles with returns, and some finding the pillow just way too firm or uncomfortable.
Okay, so let's sort of pull this all together. What does this deep dive tell us?
Well, the marketing for Pillow Haven seems like a case study in really aggressive, unverified tactics. We've got potentially fake awards, statistics with no backup, copied doctor images that aren't real endorsements, and reviews that literally defy time.
It sounds like a lot of red flags.
It really is. When you synthesize all these findings, you see a company that seems to be relying almost entirely on deception to sell a product. And based on the more believable feedback, the product itself might be mediocre at best. So, for you listening, the takeaway is approach any brand showing this pattern of, like, manufactured social proof with extreme caution. Just remember, one genuine complaint often says more than 10 overly polished, unverified positive claims.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, when a company has to exaggerate this much, invest more in the deception than just being transparent about their product, what does that say about the product itself?
And that leads to maybe a final thought for you to consider. Given all this evidence of fabrication, the 2024 reviews, the stock photo doctors, the whole package, why would a company choose that route? Why rely on straight-up deceit instead of just focusing on whatever genuine, maybe limited benefits some people actually did experience?
Yeah.
What drives a company to fabricate almost everything instead of just being honest about what they can actually deliver? Something to think about.